I'm here with my panel, Alice Stewart, Chico Bean, and Lunel. Now, let's get into the next topic. Anti-social media. There have been a lot of articles written about Elon Musk this week. The NY Times said critics say Musk has revealed himself as a conservative, and The Atlantic stated he's a far-right activist. But it's not that simple. Is he a liberal? Is he a conservative? Is he a blood? Is he Crip? Is he that? Is he this? What political side of the aisle does the man fall on? But I got a question for you. Who gives a fuck? Okay? We spend so much time talking about individuals that we don't discuss the issues, and the issue is Elon and all the other big tech gurus are hurting us as a society. Okay? And the internet needs to be regulated. More than 1,200 families have sued Meta for pointing children and teens toward material that encourage dangerous body issues, self-harm, and even suicide. Meanwhile, Twitter has disbanded its Trust and Safety Council. Leading studies show that misogynistic slurs are up 33%, homophobic slurs are up 58%, transphobic slurs are up 62%, and proving there's just something about hate for black people. Use of the N-word is up a whopping 202%, okay? That's only 2% more than the LA City Council conference call. Panel, I'll turn to you. Lunel, is this freedom? And if it is, what's more important, the freedom for Americans to live a good life or the freedom for corporations to do whatever regardless of the consequences?
I don't know what the fuck you just said, but what I know is this, and that there should be some regulation in...
That's what I just said.
Yeah, okay, well,
that's what I was asking you.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
There should be some regulation in social media only because of the hate that is spewed.
Yes.
You know, I think you still have the freedom to say certain things, but just blatant, in-your-face hate
Yes.
needs to be regulated.
Okay.
And there need to be some minorities on the panel of regulation.
Elon Musk, South African? Now, Alice, you got a unique perspective. Is there any world in which this kind of unfettered freedom is a good thing? Are you a big fan of regulation?
I think we certainly need to regulate content on a lot of these social media sites. We all have free speech, right? We can all say whatever we want, but we can't make threatening statements on social media. We can't make racist or anti-Semitic or homophobic statements on social media, and that does need to be regulated. The point is, if we are going to regulate some of these social media platforms, it needs to be across the aisle. It needs to be all types of hateful speech. Here's my big problem, and I don't know if anyone else is the same. The most frustrating thing with me is these accounts that are not verified, and you have these cowards sitting in their parents' basement, hiding behind a cat profile, attacking people and denigrating people. If you want to step into the public square and you want to trash me and call me names, step into the public square with your face, with your name, and say it like a man.
Now.
Yeah. That's why they got a cat profile.
Yeah, exactly.
They got a cat profile because they pussy.
Right.
Chico, should social media be regulated?
Just to piggyback off what she said, I think the only regulation that's really necessary is troll control. If you're a troll, troll control. You should have to put your address out. Whenever you say something disrespectful to somebody, it should come with your address where you live.
That's right.
And if you're a hateful person, you should have to stand on what you said in front of the people that you're disrespecting. But as far as social media, I'm one of the people that realize that it's not as bad as it could be, because I think back to my generation. I grew up in the 90s. If we had social media, we'd have been horrible out here.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Come on, think about it. Social media in the 90s, if I had high-speed internet,
90s,
I would have beat
2000s.
my meat off my body if I had the ability to be able to just pull porn up instantly. So you can't be mad at the kids for the way that they're utilizing something that you just
gotta... By the way, have you subscribed to my OnlyFans?
Don't live. Hey, no, I have not. I didn't even know you had one.
You're a liar, Chico.
I didn't know you had
seen them pictures of Lunel busting it open on the gram.
I did not bust it open.
You busted it open.
I did not bust it open.
Well, I
have not busted it open.
Bust it open.
I'm gonna bust it open, but I ain't busted open yet.
Hey, if you ain't busted open, I ain't subscribing.
Well,
I want to see.
No, you gotta subscribe, and then you get to see it busted.
Oh, okay. All right, bet.
You got OnlyFans for real, Lunel?
Absolutely.
Okay. Chico, you bring up a good point, though. I think one of the reasons we get mad is because we know free speech isn't free, and we know that there is consequences to the words that come out of your mouth. But those people that hide behind profiles, they never have to deal with the consequences of their actions.
We live in a time where you get to give your opinion publicly and privately at the same time.
Yeah.
So if you just take
Not us, though.
I mean, no, we don't, but that's the thing. That's why I think troll control is the biggest thing that social media needs. If you had an ability to be able to not just see the face of the person who's saying it, but know where they are.
That's right.
Know their location.
Right.
And I think that'll slow down a lot of the disrespect because people feel safe behind people not knowing where they are, not knowing their IP address and being able to find
I wish I knew some of their addresses because I keep a goon on speed dial.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
okay.
here's my thing. I've had plenty of people say a lot of awful things about me, but the ones that put their name to it, oftentimes I'll engage with them and we'll have a civil, respectful conversation and hash out the issues. But when you're hiding and you're not willing to truly engage, that's cowardly.
Yes,
and that's
it
really
is.
not free speech.
Do
That's
you have
cowardly.
goons on speed dial, Alice?
I need that.
yeah,
Well,
the police, the white woman, hell yeah, it's one call. It's over with for everybody.
Mr. Mayor,
Now, I know people are going to say just stay off social media if you think it's so bad. But is that even viable in this modern world? Is that even a possibility, just to stay off social media?
It's not
well,
possible.
my daughter's gonna be 27, but in her whole entire life, I never once, ever bought her a video game, and she didn't, it wasn't the phone era. And I know that it's very inconvenient to have a kid without a phone these days, because it's like having a tracking device up their ass. But sometimes they get them too soon. Like people be like, don't let the television babysit your child. That's people who ain't got no kids. Right, to say that. You can't wait. Say, watch the pretty colors. Sit around,
Sometimes the iPad save your life, especially when you're doing hair. I don't do hair. My wife does the hair. But you know.
But the fact that these kids are learning how to squeeze a gun before they properly know how to interact socially or conflict resolve or anything like that, they're learning how the games they're playing in the attic involve a gun. So now they're brainwashed to think that if I explode this person at school, they're gonna snap back together again, and it's just not like that.
I don't know about that.
No,
I said it. That's what I said.
I think that's where the parenting comes into play because I think as parents in this generation, I think we get amnesia and forget. Like I know my daughter at 14 is a much better human being at 14 than I was.
Oh, say it. Oh, hallelujah.
So I'm not afraid to let her. I'm not afraid to let her lead in regards to the things that I don't understand. When it comes to social media, I engage with her. I let her show me how the things work so I can engage with her and understand what she's a part of. And I'm learning this just one.
And one thing, a lot of kids and a lot of grown-ups are talking a lot on social media and engaging and tweeting and texting and Facebook and Twitter, but they're really not engaging. They're not communicating with people. And I think people need to get more back to the social aspect of our life and less of the media. Because I think that's sorely lacking
I agree.
these days.
Speaking of the kids, there's an article that came out that says students are turning to TikTok to fill gaps in school lessons for topics like social justice and Black history. So is that good?
Well, I feel like during, all the George Floyd era, and it came out, about all the statues and everything, and that the curriculum was wrong and been wrong. It was written by wrong people and fed to us for years and years and years. And now we've opened school back up, and they have not changed the curriculum. So I do think that a lot of our stuff you can deep dive into better in social media and find out more about history and things like that. I do.
If you're listening to the right people.
I mean, it just depends on, like you said, if you're listening to the right people. But that's one of the things about social media that I enjoy and appreciate is that information travels so fast. I mean, it could be a curse, but it's really a gift because when I was young, I had to get up and go to the library and check the card catalog.
Baby.
That's good, though.
I'm saying,
actually doing the work to learn.
But still, but it's like you get the abundance of information and you get to, you get to narrate it differently.
It's the rapidness.
But these kids are used to that. That's how they consume information. The attention span is 15 to 60 seconds.
Sure is.
So you got to understand that these kids don't consume information in the same way that we do.
I think there's a lot to learn on TikTok, but there's a lot of reasons to stay away from that based on China. I think what I encourage students all the time is use different sources. A lot of people are not sitting there watching the 5, 6, and 10 o'clock news anymore. They're going online, other ways to get resources and information.
And they watching masses twerking and all that other shit.
But they need to go to different sources.
I'm sorry.
That's
man.
what they doing.
I can't be mad at a kid that's on the internet looking at stuff that I used to have to sneak and watch on a VHS tape. Like,
but the sneak is the fun part.
I don't mind the porn though. It's just the misinformation.
But I mean, truth is subjective. What's true to you and me is a lie to somebody else. So
But some things are just lies.
I mean, it depends on who you ask. Like, you know, I sometimes I just go and watch Fox News just to see what the other side is talking
I
about.
know there's lies about me on social media. They said I weigh 265 pounds, and clearly I don't. Weigh that.
So do we want to regulate social media or not? Yes or no? Lunel?
Yeah.
Chico?
Troll control. That's all I think is necessary.
That's a yes.
So limited regulation.
I mean,
That wasn't a choice. Do you want to regulate motherfucking social media or not?
See, this a black mama right here. Yes, ma'am. That's what we missing right here. We missing that. That's what we need more of that.
We need to regulate hate speech across the board, without a doubt.
All right, I say regulate, because at this point, the internet is the biggest broadcast platform on the planet. It's bigger than TV, bigger than radio.
Yeah.
And with all these folks acting like reporters and journalists and lawyers and private investigators, regulate it, okay? They should have to abide by the same FCC rules as TV and radio.
I agree.
You know what I just noticed?
What you
This
know?
don't have nothing to do with nothing.
Yeah.
But I didn't notice that you had the Gucci snake vein in your forehead. And that's crazy. You ever seen that?
That's why I got to have a stress test next week. Right?
You see it?
I'd like to thank Lunel, Alice Stewart, and the one and only Chico Bean for sitting down with me tonight.